I never thought a hospital bed would become the place where my world collapsed. It started with a car accident, nothing fatal, but enough to keep me admitted for several weeks with broken ribs and a fractured leg. The hospital was sterile, cold, and lonely, but I told myself I was lucky to be alive. What I didn't know was that while my body was healing, my marriage was breaking into pieces. At first, I saw my wife as my strength. She visited every day, bringing me food, adjusting my pillows, and smiling as though everything outside those four walls was fine. She joked with the nurses, even charmed the ward staff, and I remember thinking, I married the most loyal woman alive. But then came Dr. Harris, the man assigned to my recovery. He was younger than I expected, tall with a polished smile that made everyone trust him. He checked on me daily, reassuring my wife with words smoother than honey. I thought nothing of it. After all, he was just doing his job, until I noticed the way my wife's eyes lingered on him, the way her laughter rang a little too loud when he cracked small jokes, the way her hands brushed his arm as if it were accidental. I convinced myself I was imagining things. Painkillers and long nights can twist the mind, right? My mother, however, saw it all clearly. She stayed with me through the nights, refusing to leave her son alone. She watched my wife arrive, overly dressed for hospital visits, makeup too perfect, perfume too strong for a place filled with sickness. My mother's suspicion grew when she saw my wife leaving the ward with Dr. Harris more than once, whispering in corners, phones buzzing with late-night messages she tried to hide. Then came the night my world turned upside down. I woke to my mother's trembling hands, shaking me. "Get up, son. You need to see this with your own eyes." I struggled, pain shooting through my ribs, but her urgency pulled me out of bed. She half carried me down the corridor, her face pale with fury. She pushed open the door to an empty consultation room, and there they were, my wife and Dr. Harris, close, too close, his hands around her waist, her lips inches from his. They froze when they saw us, but the guilt on their faces said more than any words could. I wanted to scream, to collapse, to hit him, but my body was weak and my voice broke into silence. My wife stammered, "It's not what it looks like," but the lie was so fragile it shattered before it even left her mouth. My mother's voice thundered through the sterile room. "You betray your husband while he's fighting for his health? You shame this family in a hospital of all places." The staff heard the commotion, and suddenly the scandal wasn't hidden anymore. Nurses pulled Dr. Harris back. My wife tried to reach for me, but I turned my face away. At that moment, I felt a different kind of pain, one no doctor could heal. Days later, after the storm, I refused to see her. She begged, cried, said it was a mistake, that loneliness had gotten the better of her. But her words felt hollow, her tears rehearsed. My mother stayed by my side, protecting me from further humiliation. She became my strength, reminding me that betrayal, though sharp, doesn't kill you. It teaches you who's truly loyal. By the time I left the hospital, my marriage was already over. I didn't take her back. She lost the right to stand beside me the night she chose desire over devotion. As I looked back one last time at that hospital, I realized it wasn't just my body that healed there, it was my vision. I finally saw the truth, and I walked out, leaning on my crutch, but standing taller than ever, because I still had something she could never destroy, my dignity and the love of a mother who refused to let lies stay hidden. The silence between me and my wife was worse than the accident pains. She tried to visit my room the next morning, but my mother blocked the door. "You've done enough damage. Leave him be," my mother snapped, her voice steady but eyes burning with disgust. "I need to explain," my wife pleaded, mascara streaked down her cheeks. My mother cut her off. "Explain what? That you betrayed your husband in his weakest hour? That while he trusted you, you found comfort in another man's arms?" I could hear every word, and though I hated drama in public, I didn't stop my mother, because she was saying what I couldn't. Later that night, she slipped in anyway, standing at the foot of my bed like a ghost. "Please, just listen," she whispered. "I was lonely. You were lying here day after day, and I felt invisible. Dr. Harris, he paid attention. He made me feel alive." I stared at her, my heart torn between love and fury. Alive? My voice cracked. I was lying here broken, and instead of holding me up, you decided to chase excitement with a man who was supposed to heal me? Her tears didn't move me this time. I didn't mean for it to happen, she sobbed. You meant every look, every touch, every lie. Don't dress it up as an accident. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it back. For the first time since I knew her, I felt nothing but cold. The confrontation with the doctor. A few days later, I asked to see Dr. Harris. He walked in, calm as if nothing had happened, though guilt flickered across his face. I owe you an apology, he said, avoiding my eyes. Things got out of hand. Out of hand. I cut him off. You built a romance with my wife while I was lying helpless in your care. You're supposed to heal patients, not destroy their families. He sighed, adjusting his coat. I never meant for it to escalate. She seemed unhappy, and I slammed my fist on the bed railing, pain shooting up my arm. You don't get to justify this. You took advantage of her weakness, of my weakness. You're nothing but a vulture in a white coat. My mother entered at that moment, her eyes sharp. We'll be reporting you to the board. A man like you doesn't deserve to wear that coat. Dr. Harris paled. For once, he had no charming smile to hide behind. The collapse of a marriage. When I was discharged, my wife begged to take me home, promising change, swearing she'd cut ties with Harris. But I didn't go with her. I went to my mother's house. That night she showed up at my door, crying, kneeling in front of me. Don't do this. Don't throw away everything we built over one mistake. One mistake. I laughed bitterly. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. What you did was a choice over and over again while I was fighting just to get out of bed. She grabbed my arm desperately. Please, I still love you. I shook my head. If you loved me, you would have been holding my hand, not his. And just like that, the bond we once had snapped. The aftermath. The hospital opened an investigation. Dr. Harris quietly resigned before things went public. But rumors spread anyway. Some called my wife heartless. Others whispered behind my back that maybe I drove her away by being too weak. But I ignored the gossip. My mother stood by me, reminding me daily that betrayal says more about the betrayer than the betrayed. In court, the divorce was messy. My wife tried to fight for alimony, tried to play the victim, but evidence of her affair surfaced. Screenshots, late-night calls, witness statement from staff. It all painted the truth. She walked out of that courtroom with nothing but her shame. Months later, when my body healed, I went back to the hospital for a final checkup. The corridors no longer haunted me. They felt like a battlefield I had survived. As I left, I saw my reflection in the glass doors, thinner, scarred, walking with a slight limp, but stronger, because I wasn't carrying her lies anymore. And that night, at my mother's table, eating the food she lovingly prepared, I finally realized sometimes the worst betrayal frees you from the wrong love.